Hi, it's Elizabeth here, and welcome back to flip number 19. Ah, this is my fourth book now for the Fobonichi. I use altered composition books. I glue 3 pages together, and I'll show you how I do that, I guess, in a little bit. But I glue 3 pages together to prevent bleed through, and each book fits 2 months in. So this is my fourth book, and this is for the months of July and August. Also, I pre-record these, so I am working on it, when I can, and then I usually sit down and pre-record, a bunch of videos and then upload them, once or twice a week to my YouTube channel. And I thank you so much for all those that watch and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. It's so fun going on and looking at everybody else's pages and their channels and to see what they've done on their YouTube channels. So I really appreciate it. So anyway, this cover here is actually, it is a calendar. It's from a calendar that I had purchased at what's called the Dollar Tree, when I occasionally get the chance to find something useful at the Dollar Tree, which is not very often at the ones down here, unfortunately. But this calendar was so pretty, and I just love all the whimsical patterns on it. So yeah, I used that for the cover, and I just glued, I might have Mod Podged it on, like I put Mod Podge behind it, not on top of it though, because that tends to get sticky, so I don't like that. So there's the front cover, and there's the back cover, and I just love this calendar. It's just so pretty. I love all the colors and the whimsy of it, and so let's get started. So on the inside, I did the same thing as well. I took a page that I happened to like and the saying that was on it, and Mod Podged this in, glued it to the cover here. And then on here, the first page of every month, I've showed you this before, is I stick in a pocket to hold all my stuff. So in here, it holds the calendar of events that we do, the different prompts, the daily prompts, the weekly prompts, all the prompts that we do on the Fobonichi group that you can choose to do and use, or you can choose not to. So this is, my journal. So it's about my life. And if the prompts motivate me to do something on that particular day, then I use the prompts. If not, then I don't. So I keep those in here. I keep my little tabs with positive sayings on them that I print out on address labels. And then I have, like, my clip art that I find, different things. So I keep, memes and whatever, and little things I collect along the way. So I do this because I do take this on the go. I take it when I leave for the weekend, every weekend, so I need to have, a place to keep all of this stuff. I can't keep it on my desk, and, because then I won't know what's going on. And so that's that. And this is what I was talking about. See, I glue the pages together. I do glue them first, and then I put washi tape on the sides of each of the pages. So when you look at the book, this way, it's pretty, and it has all these different, washi tapes on it, and it just, I don't know, I just think it's pretty, and it's great use of washi tape to use up all those rolls that we seem to collect over time. So let's get started. Okay, so July 1st, we, let me see, it was a Wednesday, so it was Whimsical Wednesday, and Lynn put on the site that the prompt was to do an acrostic with our names, so I did, and I found these clip art images of illuminated letters that I just colored in with blue pencil and cut them out and put them in. And these are the things I consider, that relate to me. So I'm eccentric, I'm loving, I'm intelligent, I'm zealous, I'm artsy, I'm blessed, I'm encouraging, I am tenacious, and I'm handmade. And thank you to some of the girls on the site that helped me with some of these, not all of them, but like, Z, that's kind of a hard word. But I figured, yeah, I am zealous, especially for, the Fobonichi. And yeah, so I especially like this one, the H for handmade, because that's what I am. Then over here, this was the letter at July. I'm doing the letter at July this month. And I mean, sometimes I do it and sometimes I don't. It just depends on what I'm doing that day and how much information or how much stuff of my life I want to put in or how many of the prompts I want to do or whatever. So if I, happen to like it, or there's room on my page or whatever the case is, then I do that. So that's the letter at July prompt for today, and be gentle with yourself, which is always a great reminder because sometimes we're just not. And then today I was playing catch up and I was finally done with my May-June Fobonichi. So I was glad to be done with that and close that chapter and that month and move on to the next book. And then on the next day, the letter at July was spread your wings and take a risk. And so I really enjoyed doing that one. And then I also happened to find a stamp that I don't think I've ever used, but it was wings and it had to do with the prompt. So I stuck it in there. And so that was fun. And my daughter went with her boyfriend to the Marlins Giants game. And so they had a lot of fun, and the Marlins won, so that was good. I'm not really a big sports fan, but I'll tell you what, I've been to a game, in person, a Marlins game years ago, and it is so much different watching in real life than it is watching it on the screen. So I would much rather go actually to a game than to sit in front of the TV and watch it, because that to me is just boring. But when you're actually there and you're part of the crowd and you're part of the excitement, it is a lot different. So, and then this was one of the quotables that we did, and a lot of times with the quotables, we don't do it anymore. Now we're doing listing things on Thursdays, but the gal would put on the quote on the Facebook site, and then we can choose to do it any way we want. We could choose to do our own lettering and do it. We could choose just to print it out and do it. We could choose just to write about our feelings about what the quote is and what it means to us. So that day I just, I printed it out and stuck it in here. And then this here was my frustration because I was trying to film and I had no more space on Big Handsome's iPad. And I think in a previous, or maybe the flip through that I just posted today, which was actually flip through 16, I think, because again I pre-record these when I have the time and the energy, and then I go back and post them to the YouTube. But yeah, I figured out how to get more usage on my husband's iPad. So yeah, it was a frustrating day that day. And then this day was the beginning of 5 on Friday that Sweet Allie on the site does. And so the things on this list were, let me see if I can move it over here. It's weird doing it on this iPad, because when I upload it to my computer, the screen is bigger or something. So what I'm seeing on the screen here in front of me is not the whole thing apparently. So anyway, I don't know. That was just very confusing ramble. But anyhow, we were supposed to use 6x6 floral paper, a glitter pen, brads or buttons, a new stamp that hasn't been used before, and a gifted item. So this is what I did. I had this very cute owl, and I love owls, but I had never used it before. So I got to use it there. And then here I used my glitter pen, and I put love with owl, your heart. And let's see, what else? Brads or buttons. I use these here, and these were actually a combination. There are not brads on here, I'm sorry, but these kind of looked like brads to me in the center here. And I made these flowers, these back parts, or this part here is a gifted item from my pen pal, and the same with this orange one. These things on top are stickers that I use, but I use them because it looks like there's a brad. And I didn't use brads because I don't really have very many brads, and yeah, so I just figured I'd do that. And this is the floral paper that I chose, and then here I did another flower with a gifted item. So that's fun, and we do those on Fridays. Allie sends out a list to us every Friday to use different things in our stash. And then Make Today Magical, that was the Letter at July prompt. And then in other news, I wrote Just Call Me Murphy. Oh, for crying out loud. I mean, I'm sure you all are familiar with Murphy's Law. Yeah, that's my middle name. So my husband was going to be so sweet and take my son to the college to register him for his dual enrollment classes that start at the end of August. And I loathe going there because I don't understand. I don't know if like they train these people on how to make your life more difficult, but that's what it seems to me whenever I go in there. It's always something different, and because I homeschool and because my son is still in high school but taking college classes, it's like, as a homeschooler here in the county that I live in, it's like you have to jump through so many hoops. You have to get permission slips from the county, and you have to get this signed and that signed, and it's just a nightmare. So, and then you go to the school and you're there for a couple of hours and your blood pressure just keeps going higher and higher and higher, it's so my husband was gonna do it, and I was a little weary of sending him because I'm like, I was all worried. Well, you have to go here, and then you have to go here, and then you have to see this lady, and then so it was just a nightmare. So anyway, I was so thankful that he was gonna take him to go do that, and then he gets there and he calls me and he says the school is closed for the holiday. I'm like, are you kidding me? So yeah. So that was on Friday, and of course they were closed for the 4th of July weekend. And so, yeah, that's what I had to look forward to on Monday, was taking my son and still having to register him. So anyway, but then my son got his guitar that day because he was out with his dad, and he wants to start taking guitar lessons. So he's going to take guitar lessons as an elective this year. So he's been having a lot of fun with it, and he really has an ear for music. And so, yeah, he took to it like a fish to water. So can't wait to see his progress on that. And then this here was 4th of July weekend, and this was a picture that my daughter took last year, I think, and I just thought it was so beautiful. It's such a beautiful picture. And this is actually, we were on the boat that day out at the beach that we go to, and this is looking across one of the bays that we go on. And so, yeah, so it was just a beautiful picture, and so I printed it out and put it in there. Let Freedom Ring was the Letter at July prompt. And then I guess I worked on setting up my July-August photo, which is this one. So, yeah, we were actually home this weekend. I guess we didn't go down south, so we were home. And my husband wasn't feeling well, and so we were just watching. They had like a Rocky marathon on, so we were watching that, and then I was sitting there with him working on this, just doing the pages, gluing the pages, and getting the washi tape on and preparing it. And then I also go up there and write some of the things out, like the date. I do pre-date because I like the idea of looking back on these one day and seeing that I did do something on every single day. Even though I might not actually work on that day, if that makes sense. So anyway, so that's what we were doing that day. And then this day was Sunday, and Rejoice Always was the Letter at July prompt. And so I had fun doing that page. I like the way that came out. And I'm not sure where my kids were. They weren't with us, so they were probably home sleeping, but my big handsome and I went out that morning, and we went to Sergio's for breakfast, and which is it's a Cuban restaurant here, and they have yummy food. So we went to breakfast there, and then we went over and did some shopping at Home Goods, and I found these lovely journals. They're called Molly and Rex journals, and here in the U.S. you can get them at either Home Goods, TJ Maxx, or Marshall's, because all those stores are run by the same company. So every time I go into Home Goods, I scour the shelves for these journals because they're so beautiful. And in the next flip, I'll show you, what they look like, because I'm just going to stop here. I know a lot of people like do flips, of like half the month or whatever, but I tend to be a yammerer and I like to explain what's going on the page, and I think that's part of the fun of it, for me and hopefully for you. But anyway, and yeah, this is just a believe sticker. And oh, in the background too, because this was Sunday, so it was stamping and stencils. And so I used this really pretty honeycomb stencil, and then I just used Felicia's technique where she uses the Inktense pencil and kind of scrapes it, or rubs it, I guess, onto a baby wipe and then pats it on the page or wipes it on the page. So I did that through a stencil, and I think it came out really pretty. I love all the soft colors, and it's just not something that I normally do. Normally I do that, which is kind of like a colorful hot mess. But this, I really like the way that this page came out and the soft colors and all that. So anyhow, I will stop here and I will catch you on the next flip, which will be the big 20. So I'll see you later. Thanks for watching.